Hello, everybody. Darren Gardner here, Hall of Fame District Manager in Jacksonville, Florida. I've given you this video to really give you my biggest key to success to crushing this job. As a representative, honestly, I wasn't the best I didn't have the highest average order. I wasn't the best at a lot of things, but one thing I did know is that if I always had appointments and I hit my appointment goal every week, then I was going to do well at the job, because ultimately the way you get really good at this is just doing more and more presentations, going to conferences, going to SLDMs, going to events. The only thing we can't do is give you people to call. So at the start of the job, I think a lot of people have this mindset of sales equals income. Actually, we'll put this in green here because that's how you make your money. But really, you can only sell to someone if you have a demo. So it's really demos equals sales equals income. And you can only do a demo is if someone is a lead. So the full equation is leads or recommendations equals demos equals sales equals income. And there's two types of people that you'll see with Cutco. There's people that you knew prior to starting the job. There's people that you get recommended to. So the first thing I'll tell you, if you want to get lots and lots of recommendations, recommend yourself to a lot of people first, and then just have the proper mindset about it. The more appointments you do with people in your network, friends, parents, friends, neighbors, people from sports or church or school or old teachers, the easier you're going to realize it's going to be for a customer to give you 10, 20, 30 referrals. So it starts with your mindset. Less than 5 recommendations on an appointment, that's bad. More than 5 is okay. You can build a sustainable business. 10 plus is good, and then 20 plus is where you want to be. And then if you want to be an absolute rock star, I know as we continue to innovate with this recommendations app, we'll have people who are consistently getting 30, 50, 100, 200 recommendations from a customer. But it starts out with the mindset of 20 is not a lot. It's less than 1 recommendation per letter from the alphabet. You probably have hundreds of connections on social media and dozens, if not hundreds, of contacts in your cell phone or Snapchat. Your customers are twice your age. They've met more people. So leads equals demos equals sales equals income. So I've got 6 keys to really helping you crush recommendations. The first key, and I think this is the most important one, I think if you nail this, honestly, it's smooth sailing from here. It's to make sure you install the app at the correct time. So when you book the appointment, as soon as the appointment's booked, there's an option to go ahead and send them the app. But you don't want to do that yet because you don't want them to do it incorrectly and get confused. So you're going to save that text until you actually start the presentation. And then when you're doing it, we'll go here, the correct time is right when you're setting the stage. So you've already connected with them. You've tied them into your goals so they see that you're a good person. But you introduce this right after the do you cook because you have to, like to, or love to question. It goes like this. Hey, Ms. Jones, do you have an iPhone or an Android? Okay, you have an iPhone? Great. So we have an app that allows the company to get some feedback from you on my presentation to help me improve. This also makes verify and pay for the appointment much easier. To get started, I need you to download our app real quick, and then I'll give you my rep number and our meeting number to enter to make this appointment official. So I just sent it to you. Let me know when you got it. Okay, cool. And then open it and go ahead and start downloading it. As it's downloading, I'm going to give you some instructions to improving the app. So you said you have an iPhone. We're a certified Apple developer, and this is a private app that's only used by Cutco customers. It's not on the App Store since it has no other use for someone unless they're seeing a Cutco presentation. When you download something that isn't from the App Store, you need to let your phone know you put it there. Have you ever done that before? It just doesn't really matter if they say yes or no. I'm still going to walk them through how to do it. But just take confidence that if they do say no, not a big deal. You've been helping adults out with technology your entire life. It's just like helping mom change the inputs on the TV or with any other app on your phone. It's like, oh, it's really easy. Let me show you. Just click on settings and then click on general and then click device management and then trust the My Cutco Rep app. Let me know when you finish doing this step. Thank you. And then also at the end of the presentation, I'll tell you about how you can sponsor me, blah, blah, blah. You go you go into your demo. So that's step number one, is just putting the app on the appropriate time after you've shared your goals, but before you've really gotten into the demo. Step two is having a confident approach when you ask for recommendations. And the key here really is planned spontaneity. To your customers, it should seem like something that's come off the top of your head, but to you, you should have a program where you do it the same way every single time, because that creates, that creates consistent results. So again, I'll go back and share, and this is under the recommendations tab on the website. Scroll down to the My Vector Impact. Step one, ask for recommendations. So Mrs. Jones, how'd you like my demo? Awesome. Well, go ahead and pull out your cell phone so you can answer that third question about my product knowledge for me. And there's no need to make me sound better than I am. I want real feedback so I can keep improving. Okay, thank you so much. Now, there's one more very important part, and here's where you can really help me out. See, I get paid every time I show Cutco, but I can only show it to people I've been personally recommended to. And I'm really trying to keep my schedule full in order to hit my goals. So what I need you to do is go through your contacts, and then let's jot down the first 100 names that come to mind. I'm just kidding. Actually, the app you downloaded is designed to be a huge time saver for both of us for this part. It's much easier, and of course, only I'll be able to see the contacts you send me. So on the bottom of the screen, click the share button, and then just hit it's okay to share contacts. And it lets you select those 100 people you want to refer me for. Now on this part, I'd like you to go ahead and check off everyone that you think might be nice enough to see me. Not necessarily people you think would buy, just nice people like you. And it's okay if they live out of state, since I do everything online anyway. Thank you so much for your help. Check off as many as you can, and just let me know when you're finished before you click the share button at the bottom. And take as much time as you need on this, because it's the most important part of the meeting for me, and I don't mind waiting. Give them a few minutes. They're like, I'm finished. Okay, great, Ms. Jones. Thank you so much. Before you click the share button, can you tell me how many you selected in the blue box? And then here, you just pay attention to the notes. The mission is to get 10 on every single appointment. And as you raise your skill, that number will increase. But if it's less than 5 when you're new, and if it's less than 10 when you have experience, thank them first. Thank you so much, Ms. Jones. This is a big help. Just so you know, if you give me at least 5 recommendations, you become a sponsor. If you give me 10 or more, you become a double sponsor. And once I get 50 sponsors, I get a free piece of Cutco for my manager. Do you think there's any way you could think of blank more to check off who might be willing to see me, so you can count as a sponsor or a double sponsor? Okay. And then there's also stuff there on how to do the heads up text, taking notes on the best 5. Honestly, those are great tips. The main purpose of this video is just to get the basics down, so you're consistently getting 10 to 20 recommendations per appointment, but qualifying is definitely a 2.0 version of being great at recommendations. The next tip is, it makes it easier to ask for recommendations at the end if you do tell them at the beginning that you're going to be asking for referrals. There's 2 ways I like to do this. One, when you're sharing your goal, having an appointment goal. So it's like, yeah, Ms. Jones, my goal this summer is to do 100 presentations, or my goal over the summer is to get recommended to 1,000 new people. Either of those both accomplish the same thing. If you prefer, you want an appointment goal or a recommendations goal, but having an activity goal, and then telling them, I'll tell you how you can help me with that at the end. So step 4, handling objections. It's just like the demo, right? We present, and then we ask for the order. If they say yes, awesome. If they say no, we work with the customer to find something that we're both excited about, and then go from there. Just like the phone, you ask them for a time. If they can't do that, you figure out what's going on and book a time that works well for both of your schedules. It's the same thing with recommendations, and I feel like this is the easiest, because there's only 3 potential objections that they could give you. So number 1, and this was my personal favorite, when they say they don't know anybody. Now, this one you shouldn't get very often, because their contacts are in front of them, and they, they're going to have contacts in their phone. But really, when they say they don't know anybody, what they're saying is they don't know who they think might buy. Easiest way to handle this is when you're building rapport. Don't build rapport just for the sake of rapport building. Build rapport so you've got ammunition to give them ideas of who to recommend. So if you know that they work at a bank and they say they don't know anybody, it's like, oh, just put down some people from the bank. Or if you know that their kids are really involved in sports, like, oh, you can just put down some people that play sports with your kid. The hardest name to get is that first one from my experience. Once you get them checking 1 to 2 people, it's pretty easy to get the rest. Number two, can I give them to you later? And here's the deal. A customer means well, but it's already right there. They've gotten the stuff. All they have to do is check it and hit share. It's going to take all of 3 minutes if they give you a lot of recommendations from this point, 30 seconds if they're giving you 5 to 10. One tip to avoid this is don't put in the actual order until you have until you've asked for recommendations, because that way it shows you still have some time. So it's like, hey, Ms. Jones, I'm getting your order put in right now. By the way, how'd you like my demo? Okay, do that product knowledge question. Boom. And then if they say, can I give them to you later? You can say, well, I got to put in your order anyway, so let's do this as many as you can right now. You can always get back to me later. If you have already put in the order, maybe you forgot. Again, it's not a big deal. Handle the objection, ask again. So, yeah, Ms. Jones, you can definitely send me more later. That being said, this is the most important part for me. So let's at least do your best 5 to 10 right now. And then later, if you think of anyone else, you can send them my way using the app. The third objection is some version of I don't feel comfortable, or I don't want to talk to them first, or I don't want to recommend my friends, or whatever. Realize that some people don't give recommendations, just like some people don't buy. The goal is to minimize it as much as possible. So there's a two-pronged drop down to this. The first thing I would do is just clarify and let them know they're not giving the numbers to Cutco. They're giving the numbers to you as the representative, and you're the only one who's ever going to see that list. So ask for recommendations. Oh, I'd want to talk to them first. Like, yeah, Ms. Jones, I totally understand. If it was someone else giving them a call besides me, I'd be hesitant too, but it'll just be me. So who are a couple people that wouldn't mind if I at least asked? Number two, this is what I used to do. I felt this was got my point across a little better, and people like this. And you may not be confident enough to pull this off, but as your confidence grows, you may be. And then some of you are going to absolutely love this, and it's going to get you a lot of recommendations. I've had customers where they told me they didn't feel comfortable. They want to talk to them first. They didn't feel comfortable with that. I did this, and I turned this into double and triple sponsors. So I asked for recommendations. They're not comfortable with that, and I'm like, the first look is key. It's just, I'm sorry, did I do something wrong? And they're like, no, you were great. You were great. I just want to talk to him. It's like, are you sure? You promise? Like if I was rude, like you would tell me? Okay. So, Ms. Jones, I promise to treat your friends with the same respect I treated you. The thing is, if I don't get recommendations, I don't have a job. And my plan is to do enough appointments this summer to pay my way through college. So I promise I'll be nice to your friends. And keep in mind, you're only giving them a chance to see me if they want to. They can always tell me no over the phone. But hey, is there at least a couple people who I can at least ask? Who are like 1 to 2 people that you don't think would mind if I at least ask them? Start from there, get 1 to 2, and then you can always build it up later. The first objective is just get them checking. Once they're checking, then you can continue to get more and more. Tip number 5 is promoting the sponsorship. Asking for the next level of however many they give you. And this you would keep repeating over and over again. So let's say they check off 3. They're like, I got 3. Hey, thank you so much, Ms. Jones. If you get to 5, you count as a sponsor. At least 2 more that you think you get to. I got to 5. Awesome, Ms. Jones. That's huge. By the way, if you do give me to 10, you count as a double sponsor, and it would help me out twice as much. Do you think you can get to 10? And you can keep tossing out ideas every increment of 5 until they're tapped out. A couple other things to promote. Number 1 is your record. Just promote the record. If you have a small number right now, it's really easy. If someone gives you 10, say, by the way, Ms. Jones, my record's 12. Think you can give me 3 more? What happens to that record is it increases. And as you get this record to 30, 40, you think you build up your record to where it's even 25, someone gives you 26, just from those 2 customers promoting your record, you've created 50 leads for yourself. And then you'll have customers that get super competitive. The most recommendations I've ever heard of a representative getting that I can verify that I know actually happened was a customer recommended over 500 customers because they wanted to help the representative out, and the representative promoted their record, and they wanted to put something that no one else was going to touch. So So promote the sponsorship, and then always ask for the next level. It's the equivalent of Chick-fil-A saying, "Would you like anything else?" Whenever you tell them, what you would like to order. And then the final tip is the money maker, and I think one of the biggest perks of this app. With this app, once you get the everything all, finish the appointment, most customers are not going to delete it from their phone. And even if they do, they still have a meeting code. They'll still show up on your phone, so you can always send it to them again. You can always go back to past customers and offer incentives for more recommendations. This is great to kick off a push. This is just great if you ever need a refresher on numbers. Maybe you're probably listening to this video because maybe you weren't doing so hot on recommendations. I would be willing to bet there's a few customers you could go back to, have them do this app again, and give you 10, 20, 30, 50 recommendations plus. I'm going to give you a couple ideas of incentives that I've seen offered in the past. One is the Cutco vegetable peeler. It's incredible. Best vegetable peeler on the planet. It's like a $50 value. Your manager can get those for $7 a piece. And I know in Jacksonville, what we do is you can get $7 a piece, or you can order from me 3 for 20. This is so awesome to use for recommendations. Like, yeah, Miss Jones, this is a $50 peeler. If you can give me 20 recommendations, I'll give it to you for free. And you've paid $7 for 20 new leads, even off a base pay. That's half of an appointment. No brainer. If they've got all the Cutco, maybe they got the peeler, you can do a Starbucks gift card. You can do free Cutco that isn't the peeler. If they've ordered from you and it was a sizable order where you have extra bonus points on it, you could always call customer service, say you forgot to add something. I just bet, Miss Jones, every name you give me, I'll give you $1 credit towards free Cutco. I know you want that cheese knife. You send me 93 recommendations and I get it added to you. You call Cutco. I forgot to add a cheese knife to this customer's order. It costs you whatever the points of the cheese knife are, 65 points, but you got 93 leads from a baller customer. So those are some keys on really rocking recommendations. Here's the deal: recommendations. It's honestly the simplest part of the job because we enjoy giving recommendations as people. When we experience something we like, we want to tell other people. If we watch a good movie, we're telling people. If we eat at a good restaurant, we're telling people. They're meeting you and they're seeing the best kitchen knives in the history of the planet. The work is done for you. The key is just asking correctly in a way that we know produces results. And I'll end with this: is no tunnel vision. Remember, the success equation is simple. Leads, get good at that. You get good at that, you're going to hit your demo goal. You hit your demo goal, you're going to make sales. And obviously that's where the income comes from. So you want to crush this job, become a leads master, and the world is your oyster. Have a great day. Happy selling.